Tonight on UCentral News. Happening tonight, President Biden is set to deliver a State of the Union address. Just days after Super Tuesday, what's he expected to speak on?
Tonight we're going to have high winds, hail, and even a possible chance of tornadoes. I'll have your full weather forecast later in the show.
Next, UCentral Week is starting soon with a 5K for students and faculty. What you need to know to get involved. In social media, Jake Paul and Mike Tyson are going head-to-head this summer. Destiny Pittman has more on the big announcement. Finally, in sports, baseball and softball schedules for this weekend just got changed. Ian Nickel has the rundown of the new games for the Broncos.
Live from Central Oklahoma, this is UCentral News.
President Biden's State of the Union address is set for tonight, and it comes the day after the general election matchup was essentially set.
The speech, not only a status update on the nation, but a pivotal moment for Biden's re-election prospects. Karen Kafa is on Capitol Hill this morning with a preview.
The White House says President Joe Biden's message to the American people will look back and forward.
You will hear the president lay out the historic achievements he has delivered on for the American people and his vision for the future.
Biden's State of the Union address comes the day after Republicans acknowledged former President Donald Trump as their presumptive nominee for the 2024 presidential election.
It is now up to Donald Trump to earn the votes of those in our party and beyond it who did not support him.
Former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley suspended her bid after a string of Super Tuesday losses, setting the table for another November battle between Biden and Trump. Biden expected to extend a hand tonight to Haley's backers, leaning in particular into overlaps on foreign policy. But he also has work to do within his own party. Progressive Democrats especially unhappy with his handling of the Israel-Hamas conflict abroad. And at home, polls show Americans feeling better about the economy, but Biden not getting credit for it. Plus, questions about the president's age and vitality raising tonight's stakes.
The age of the president's ideas matter. Donald Trump's ideas are from 50 years ago. The president is working to restore Roe versus Wade, to address the existential threat posed by climate change, and to lead our country into the future.
The speech likely one of Biden's biggest audiences of the year, kicking off a nearly 8-month general election battle ahead. On Capitol Hill, I'm Karen Kafa.
Good evening, I'm Destiny Pittman.
And I'm Mark Lowe. Welcome to this edition of UCentral News. Sweden's long-held policy of neutrality has come to an end. Today, the Scandinavian nation formally joined the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, better known as NATO. Hungary was the last NATO member to approve Sweden's bid to join. It makes Sweden the 32nd member of NATO. Finland became NATO's 31st member last year. Both countries announced their intention to join the alliance in response to Russia's invasion of Ukraine.
Sweden's prime minister thanked the allies for welcoming his countries into the bloc. And today has been a very cloudy day outside. It looks very gray outside, I've noticed.
Absolutely. I even had a little bit of rain come down on me whenever I was walking back from the gym this morning. We're going to go to Gwyneth Duncan now for our first look at weather. Gwyneth?
Thank you, and good afternoon, Broncos. Looking outside right now, it's feeling pretty nice. We're sitting at 74 degrees and partly cloudy. The only issue outside right now is that the winds are sitting really high. We have winds coming in from the south at 22 miles per hour with gusts as high as 30 miles per hour, so it's pretty windy out there. We currently do have a 20% chance of rain, and I know earlier we had some slight rain. It was some drizzle throughout the state today, but right now we're not really seeing anything in Edmond. As we look ahead, we do have a severe thunderstorm effect until 10 p.m. because we do have some thunderstorm chances tonight. And then we do have a cold front moving into tonight, which is what is causing those thunderstorms, and it will last throughout the weekend. And then our temperatures are going to start to rise again, and we're going to see some future rain chances next week. As we look at our severe weather chances for tonight, our hail is sitting at a moderate chance, so you might see some hail tonight in those storms that are going to move throughout the state. And when we do have only a slight chance of tornadoes, but you'll want to keep an eye out for that because there still could be a chance. Our winds tonight are going to be high with those storms that move in, but other than that, that's all I have for you guys right now. I'll have your 7-day forecast and much more later in the show. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you, Gwyneth. You've probably heard of a cheer competition or even a chess tournament, but have you heard of a Rubik's Cube competition? UCentral's Kelly Clayton went to the state competition to see what it's all about.
Ever hear of Bobby Fischer? How about Ryan Pilot? Well, if you don't know that name, then you don't hang around the speed cubing circuit. Ryan is a virtuoso in the sport. At 15 years old, Ryan was once a world record holder. He brought his talents to OKC last weekend to a speed cubing competition,
where we solve Rubik's Cubes.
And while some find it a difficult achievement, there are others like Ryan. Well, not exactly.
I can do it in maybe 7 minutes. But for most people, the fact that I can solve the cube is impressive.
So the objective is to solve it as fast as you can.
The rules?
We'll scramble up the cube for them. They'll take it out to one of the stations out here, and then a judge will ask the competitor, "Are you ready?" And when they say, "Yeah, ready," they lift up the cover.
Once the judge lifts the cover,
they start a stopwatch.
You have 15 seconds to inspect the cube
before you start solving.
Usually you'll look for like your first few moves.
As timekeepers in a sport where seconds are fractioned, the judges command respect.
Now, what they do is they'll put their hands down on a timer and they'll lift up the cube, and as soon as they're done, they slam down their hands on the timer, and if the cube is solved, we'll write down their time, and then the judge signs, the competitor signs.
We really wanted to help bring more competitions here, and so once we met the World Cubing Association people, we said, how can we help? How can we bring more competitions to our area?
A small trek was necessary for some.
So we woke up this morning at about 6:15 and left the house about 6:40 to be able to get here by 9 o'clock. But it's valuable. I mean, not only do I get to see him compete in something that he really loves to do, he gets to meet new people and make new friends, but I get 4 hours in the car with him, just me and him, which is something that's great.
One puzzle solved here, friendship.
Really fun and great to like meet new people.
He makes friends at these events.
Some of my best friends are in this hobby with me, and it's the way I met them was going to competitions with them.
They come back and see each other here.
I couldn't imagine meeting them in another way.
And for some, well, they may never get it.
I don't think I could solve it if you gave me all day.
Overall, it was a really great day, and I think the competition ran really well.
As long as this is something that he loves to do and he's excited about doing it, then we'll continue to make sure he has opportunities to do it.
And that 7-minute solve? Well, Ryan did it in less than 5 seconds. For UCentral News, I'm Kelly Clayton.
Thanks for that, Kelly. Westmore High School is presenting opportunities to their students with disabilities. Java Jags is a coffee shop ran by students with disabilities, giving them unique on-the-job experience for future careers. The first Java Jags opened in 2020 by teacher Sherry Peak. The second location opened at Westmore's College and Career Center in 2023.
Oh, it has. I have seen their confidence and their self-esteem grow exponentially. It's been a wonderful thing for our students, for our staff, for our school, for the community. It's been a real success.
Women's History Month is this month, and UCO's Max Chamber Library will be hosting a presentation about the environment in women's sports at UCO and how it has changed since the passage of Title IX. The presentation will be held on the first floor of the library at 2 p.m. Tuesday, March 12th, and will feature Virginia Peters, the former director of women's athletics at UCO, and Gary Pinkenson, the former head UCO softball coach.
Mark your calendars, Broncos. iHeartCentral Week is coming up, and the Student Programming Board is hosting a 5K. Happening March 25th and open to the Edmond community, the run will start at Plunkin Park, where there will be food trucks, inflatables, and games for non-participants. For the run, it's $20 to register, but $10 for UCO students. Everyone who participates will receive a medal and a t-shirt. SPB's Executive Director Riley Hall tells us a little bit more about the event.
All of our proceeds from this 5K will be supporting Broncothon, which is UCO's year-long philanthropy, and they send all of the proceeds to support the Children's Health Foundation. The best way to support this event is to just come out and support and participate, even if you're not interested in running or walking our 5K. Like I said, we'll have yard games, DJ Tangerine will be here, and there will be a lot of fun things to do. Feel free to bring pets, family, and kids as well.
All the proceeds will support Broncothon, UCO's year-long philanthropy event. Registration can be completed online at eventbrite.com. And if you do plan on doing that 5K, you might want to take a look at the weather. We're starting to get into some pretty unpredictable times in Oklahoma's weather.
Definitely. Gwyneth Duncan will have your full look at weather after this break.
Happy birthday! Make a wish.
Miss you guys.
Blue skies smiling at me, talking about blue skies. Do I see bluebird
comes to making plans, you are the best. What about those barbecues you plan in detail for your family? Or your daughter's first costume party? It was out of this world. The same way you plan each detail for those moments, start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Sign up for local weather and emergency alerts. Prepare an emergency kit and make a family communications plan. Protecting your family is the best plan you can make.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
Are you really sure this is all going to fit?
Oh, it'll fit. I got that.
All right.
When hauling anything, ensure it's secure. Losing your load is dangerous for all drivers. We want everyone to make it home safe. Help make Oklahoma safe by securing your load.
Welcome back, Broncos. And looking outside right now, like I mentioned earlier, it's feeling pretty nice, but those wind gusts are really high, coming in at 30 miles per hour. Our humidity is pretty medium. It's sitting at 41%. And across the state, we're looking at pretty nice temperatures, just aside from those winds. In OKC, we're sitting at 74 degrees, and everywhere it's looking pretty nice. But down in Idabel, we are having a slight chance of rain, higher than the rest of the state right now. Currently, the rest of the state is sitting at about 20% to 40%, but Idabel is sitting at about 70%. As we look into tonight, that's when the cold front's going to move in. We're really going to start to see temperatures drop, and you're going to feel it in the winds as well. Our temperatures are going to drop down to 34, and then we do have scattered thunderstorms just throughout the state as a whole. Our winds are going to be at south 15 miles per hour, but as those thunderstorms move in, you might see winds as high as 60 miles per hour. So you just want to be ready for that, because it's going to be really unpredictable out there tonight, depending on where you are. Our rain tonight's going to be at 70%. And then as we move into the state, it's going to be, like I said, feeling a lot colder than what we have been feeling. In OKC, it's going to be 51 degrees. And just throughout the state, it's getting pretty chilly. I know up in Guyman, it's going to get to about 29 degrees. So it's going to be pretty chilly all over the state. And then those thunderstorms are going to hit us as well. As we look into tomorrow, starting off at 1 a.m., it's going to be a pretty high chance of rain. So at 1 a.m., we're going to start seeing those rain throughout the night, and then it's going to drop down to low at 10 a.m. So it's not going to be as high at 10 a.m., but then it's going to go up to about 50% chance of rain at 12 p.m. throughout the rest of the day. At 7 p.m., it's going to move out quite a bit, so we won't really see more rain chances after this system moves through. And tomorrow throughout the state, like I said, since that cold front's moving in, it's going to get colder. In OKC, it's going to be 54 degrees, and it's just going to be a lot chillier than what we're used to. And then as we look at our daily forecast, starting off at 7 a.m. tomorrow in Edmond, it's going to be 53 degrees. And we do have a slight chance of rain, about a 40% chance. So we will have maybe scattered storms. We really aren't looking at thunderstorms tomorrow, mainly just light systems of rain like we felt today, but a little bit more. At noon, it's going to be quite windy, and that rain chance is going to go up to 50%. So you will see more common rain around noon compared to 7 a.m. As we move into 7 p.m., that's when all the rain's going to move out. We're really just going to see a 20% chance of rain, and it's going to be very cloudy across the state. And then as we look at our 7-day forecast, on Friday, it's going to be 50% tomorrow, like I mentioned. And then throughout the days, it's going to start getting sunnier, and then our temperatures are going to start going back up. And then we do have a chance of rain on Thursday, a 50% chance. So we do have a chance for thunderstorms. And then what are you guys planning on doing once those temperatures just rise back up again?
I know I definitely am going to start going outside a lot more. Maybe have some picnics. I really just enjoy that warmer spring weather. What about you, Mark?
Absolutely. I'm definitely going to look forward to enjoying that. But Gwyneth, I got to ask you, I'm looking at Thursday there, 50% chance of rain and some higher temps. The weather bell in me is kind of ringing. Any chance of severe weather that day?
Yes, we do have a slight chance of severe weather that day, but we'll just have to play it out as we get closer to Thursday.
Well, thank you so much, Gwyneth. I appreciate it. Definitely have to keep an eye on next Thursday for sure. Again, thank you, Gwyneth. Coming up in social media, Jake Paul will have a boxing match. Who's his opponent?
And what singer has an album coming out tomorrow? I'll have more after the break.
I was raised to believe in the power of possibility, to always move forward but never forget where I came from, to value hard work, ingenuity, and hospitality. On one hand, my people are rough and rugged. On the other, refined and elegant. They taught me how to love beautiful things and cherish my past, to seek out adventure, eat well, and to have a good time. So I keep their traditions alive every place I go. They call me Oklahoma City, but you can call me the modern frontier.
UCentral News as a whole, you got to be in those different areas, like being on camera, being off camera, being in the control room. And so I feel like that is what prepared me most about being in the workplace.
UCentral and the mass comm department has provided me all the tools and the fundamentals that are needed in order to thrive well and thrive fast at my job.
Maybe it's time to hit the road and visit a place where stories unfold. This is the land of the ultimate road trip, with sights old and new on Route 66. There's fun to be had, so much to do, and a few new surprises before you get through. Oklahoma has the most miles to share of Route 66. It's really quite rare. TravelOK.com will show you the way. Come see for yourself this iconic highway.
Welcome back. I'm here to give you your social media update. Boxer Mike Tyson and YouTube-turned boxer Jake Paul will go head-to-head this summer. Today, the pair announced that they will face off in the ring July 20th. Paul shared a video to social media for his reasoning behind the fight.
I was meeting my childhood hero for the first time.
What's up, Mike?
Hey, Rob.
How are you, man?
Mars loved it, huh?
Good to meet you.
And then he said this.
Hey, from Low. I'm Jake.
Did you hear that?
Hey, from Low. Hey, from Low.
I mean, people, imagine meeting your childhood hero for the first time and they call you your brother's name. We don't even look alike. And ever since that day, Mike, I've wanted to knock you the out. I'm just kidding.
Users on X have been sharing their thoughts about the fight all day. One user said, 57-year-old Mike Tyson is still Mike Tyson. He doesn't move like he's 57. He moves like he's Mike Tyson. Hashtag Jake Paul. This event will be live streamed on Netflix this summer. And Ariana Grande is trending on X today ahead of the release of her newest album. Eternal Sunshine will be available at midnight. This is the first album Grande has released since her Positions album in 2020. The setlist has also been released. In an interview, Grande said the upcoming song, The Boy Is Mine, is a reimagined version of the Brandy and Monica song with the same title. So far, it has not been confirmed if there will be a tour along with this album. And Wonder Woman actress Gal Gadot announced that she gave birth to her 4th child. In a post on Instagram today, she shared a picture saying, "My sweet girl, welcome home. This pregnancy was not easy and we made it through. You have brought so much light into our lives, living up to your name, Ori, which means my light in Hebrew. Our hearts are full of gratitude. Welcome to the house of girls. Daddy is cool too." That's all I have for your social media update. And coming up in sports, UCO basketball looks to survive and advance in the MIAA tournament. And the Thunder got a big win out west last night. Let's find out how after the break.
Feel the beat of nature at a park or forest near you.
Find a forest and music inspired by nature at discovertheforest.org.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
Happy Thursday, everybody. It's time to talk some sports. Announced by UCO Athletics yesterday, both the Broncos baseball and softball teams this weekend, their series is affected due to expected weather. Baseball will now play 2 games on Saturday in Wichita against the Newman Jets at noon and 3, while the series finale on Sunday remains unchanged. If you can't travel up to Wichita for the weekend, the trio of games are streaming on the MIAA network. And for softball, instead of playing Washburn on Friday, the doubleheader will shift to Saturday at 1 p.m. and 3 p.m. And Emporia State will now travel down on Sunday instead of Saturday. Game times will remain the same at 1 p.m. and 3 p.m. for those. All 4 of those games will be at Jerry Pinkston Stadium, and if you can't make it to all 4 games, they're all streaming on the MIAA network. On to the hardwood, the UCO Broncos men's basketball team are up in the barbecue capital of the world in Kansas City, Missouri to fight for a title in the MIAA tournament. The road begins with a third matchup against the Pittsburgh State Gorillas at 8:15 p.m. on Friday. The Gorillas won both games this season, winning 75-66 in Pittsburgh back in December and surviving a 79-69 nail-biter in Edmond back in February. Should the Broncos win that game, they'll face the winner of Fort Hays State and Lincoln, who play tonight at 8:15. The Oklahoma City Thunder were back in action last night, taking on the divisional foe, Portland Trail Blazers, at the Moda Center. The second quarter we go. Chet Holmgren with a nice spin move there and a slam to increase the lead, followed by Stone Cold SGA with his tough layup and the foul. The MVP candidate had 37 points last night in the victory. And then finally, J-Dub said, I'm underrated and I'm over it, and launched a dagger to seal the deal for the Thunder to wrap up a 31-point performance for the sophomore sensation. The Thunder finished the game as the victors, 128 to 120, and have a record of 43-19. The Oklahoma City Thunder will return home tomorrow to take on Jimmy Butler and the Miami Heat. And finally, we are gathered here today to mourn the life of what was once the great sport of boxing. Yep, your eyes are not deceiving you. As Destiny mentioned earlier, this is a real fight happening this summer. 57-year-old Mike Tyson is fighting infamous social media star Jake Paul at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas, July 20th, and it will be streamed live on Netflix. All I have to say is what happened to the sport I love. There's a super fight tomorrow with Anthony Joshua and MMA star Francis Ngannou in Saudi Arabia. One of the best pound-for-pound fighters in the world, Naoya Inoue, is virtually unknown to the public despite being a bantamweight and having the knockout power of a heavyweight. And the fighters that have gained national attention, like Terrence Crawford, fight maybe once a year because they really want money. And arguably the second best known fighter besides Jake Paul, Ryan Garcia is more known for his social media antics than his actual fighting. Also, I think he's overrated too. The point is, boxing is dead. And while a lot of eyeballs will be on this fight, the sport itself is dying and has been dying for several years. Mark, Destiny, what are your thoughts on this quote-unquote mega fight?
First off, Ian, I'd like to say I am sorry for your loss. And secondly, I don't know about this fight. You know,
I don't know either.
I like Mike Tyson, and Jake Paul is kind of become, I don't know, intolerable. And personally, I am pulling for Mike Tyson to knock Jake Paul down a peg or two.
I agree. I also think Mike Tyson is probably going to win.
Absolutely. Thank you, Ian. Again, sorry for your loss. Coming up tomorrow is one of the most anticipated days for many students. What can we expect?
And Gwyneth Duncan will have your last look at weather coming up after the break.
Feel the beat of nature at a park or forest near you. Find a forest and music inspired by nature at discovertheforest.org.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
UCO's annual cheer and dance competition will be held on March 8th at 8 p.m. at Hamilton Fieldhouse. Organizations will be judged on dance, cheer, stunting, overall impressions, and entertainment. Doors open at 7 p.m. and tickets can be purchased online at Eventbrite. UCO's clear bag policy will be in effect for the event. All proceeds will be benefiting Broncothon, a philanthropic student organization raising funds for the Children's Health Foundation. And Gwyneth Duncan's here to give us our last look at weather. Gwyneth, what can you tell us?
Yeah, so tomorrow starting off, it's just going to be a light rain throughout the day, and then it's going to increase at 12 p.m. and then we are going to see it move out at about like 7 p.m. and then we'll start to see just mainly clouds, and it'll start going up from there. We'll start to see sunny skies and maybe even higher temperatures of weather. Are you guys excited for that?
Definitely. I love that. I love the higher weather. I love the rain that we're getting tonight as well, though. Mark?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely looking forward to that rain. No, we definitely need it, especially around this time of year after that dry winter that we had. But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to the warmer temps too. This cold has been fun, but if you can't tell by my voice, I got a little bit sick this week, so I'm over it and I'm ready for some warmer temperatures.
Spring's almost here, so that's really good.
Oh, thank goodness.
And on other notes, on Sunday, it is going to be the leap forward, is it?
Yeah, spring forward, daylight saving.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
We lose an hour of sleep.
I feel like we just got that hour of sleep. Like that went by way too fast. Not looking forward to that at all.
At least it'll be like stay lighter longer though.
Absolutely. That is unfortunately all the time we have for this edition of UCentral News. For now, I'm Mark Lowe.
I'm Destiny Pittman. Have a nice evening.